you guys.
Hey,
I'm
everybody.
Seyka.
I'm Brian.
We're making a baby.
Oh, he's cooking in there.
Yeah, he's cooking in there. We are 31 weeks, coming up on 32 weeks.
Tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow. It's crazy that we're counting in the 30s now.
Yeah, and like right around the corner, we're inside of 2 months from our due date.
Yeah, it's wild. It feels like it's coming so soon. The last weeks, it sure doesn't. 2 months sometimes sounds like a long time, but when you're talking about a baby coming, it sure doesn't.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, quick disclaimer, our dogs are crazy right now, so they're likely going to make some debuts in this video, so we apologize, or you're welcome, either way.
Part of, coronavirus plus a rainy day leads to energetic dogs.
Very energetic dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some very energetic dogs. So today we want to update you guys a little bit about what we've been going through. We want to share some symptoms and some crazy things that happen with pregnancy and talk about our birth plan and some of the fun pregnancy and birth stuff that we have going on. I can show you guys some of the fun stuff and tell you about some of the education that we're consuming.
Perfect. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with the symptoms.
Oh, symptom tracker.
Yeah.
Should I do week 30 and 31?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're doing the guessing game here. I'm going to pick some and see if I can guess if you've got them. Okay, changes in fetal movement. If you're moving a baby feel your baby moving every day, but now he's getting stronger, and you can feel like wiggles or stretches, and there's just a lot of different things going on. His quarters are getting more cramped, so there might be some harder kicks, and you definitely been feeling this one. It seems like it's really been changing a bit.
Yeah.
Can you describe it a bit more?
Well, I had one point where I don't know what he kicked, but it was clearly something more sensitive than he'd been before, because I was like, whoa, it sent a shock through my body.
It hurt?
Yeah. Or in the way that a shock hurts, but
Like an electrical shock?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just shocking.
Yeah.
So it's uncomfortable, but it wasn't like a stabbing pain, but I was like, whoa, that's something crazy happening. So yeah, really interesting movements now, feeling him all the time, kind of doing all sorts of different dances, and it's getting real strong.
That's awesome.
I also now do a baby kick counter. So one of the apps that I use, Birth Center, it's one of the more popular pregnancy apps, actually has a tool that I'm able to use. My midwife also sent me just a PDF that I could do it with pen and paper, but I like having just an app that I can click a button when he kicks. And basically, you try to set the same time every evening, or any time during the day. I pick the evening, and you just count how long it takes him to get to 10 kicks. And sometimes he's taken, I think one night, I knew that it wasn't going to be a good time to time his kicks, because I can just feel when he's like bouncing off the walls or when he's really still for a while. And this time it took him like an hour and 15 minutes. That was the longest time. Often it's like 2 minutes. So,
yeah, regularly? I know you did that the other night.
No, he's only done 2 minutes once, and then there was a 6 minutes, and then I'd say it's often around like 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And of course, if I'm trying to time around the same time every day, like if I timed his most active, if I was like, oh, it's a dance party in there, I should just, count his kicks, I could probably do it 2 minutes every day. But
Okay.
I try to do it around the same time every day, and so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Next one.
Bloating and gas. From your uterus expanding, putting pressure on your rectum.
That's something fun to talk about on video.
Can weaken muscle control and lead to uncontrollable passing of gas. Drink plenty of water to avoid constipation, which aggravates this condition. I plead the fifth.
Last night, I was particularly gassy, or I guess the past 2 nights, which is really funny that this just came up, because I definitely wouldn't say that I feel like I have uncontrollable passing of gas.
Yeah, I shouldn't have plead the fifth. Like, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily know that. Maybe I'm like, oh, wow, I farted, but I didn't realize.
Yeah, but we share an office all day.
We do. And I don't fart that much. But every once in a while, I'm like, oh, wow, it's a gassy day.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have to get really comfortable talking about this stuff, you guys, because I'm about to give birth, and like that is so vulnerable. People are gonna,
It's gonna be people real close, looking really closely.
Yep. The Positive Birth Company, which I'll talk about in a second, is a really cool digital pack. It's a childbirth education. They also have some postpartum education. It's really wonderful, and it's a integrative teaching with hypnobirthing and just positive birth messages, and they teach you all sorts of really cool stuff like breathing and meditation techniques, and talk to you about all the realities of birth. And it's so cute. The woman who runs this whole program, she teaches through these videos, and she talks about pooping all the time. Mm-hmm. And she hasn't talked about farting yet, but I bet she'd be like, you should definitely talk about farting, because pooping and farting, it's like taboo or embarrassing, but you have to get really comfortable like letting your body do these things, because you're about to have your body open up and let out a baby.
Yep. It's really natural too. Yeah. I don't know why it needs to be.
Yeah.
But cool. Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Swollen ankles and feet. I think you've had some swollen ankles. We've talked about that a bit. Doesn't say anything too interesting besides that 75% of pregnant women suffer from this.
Yeah. So I have varicose veins. I've had varicose veins since I was 14 or something, which basically the back of my legs, you can see they like pop out a little bit, and my veins aren't great at bringing blood back up my legs. They're not bad enough for me to do anything, and it usually doesn't cause much of a problem. I actually thought my swelling was going to be a lot worse, and knock on wood, because we still got 8 weeks to go. But there's only been a couple of days where they feel really swollen. I put my legs up, and then it kind of goes away. So yeah, I've been really lucky with that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Constipation. Anything there? I don't think you haven't said anything about constipation. Not in a while. I think you did a little bit early on in pregnancy, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think I had constipation like once early, or just like strange early. I don't even think I could say it was constipated, but I definitely haven't. I drink a lot of water, and we eat a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. So when we've measured how much fiber we have, it's like triple the daily recommended value, and that's just because of how we eat normally. So it's not surprising. Like, we have a green smoothie a lot of mornings, and there's just so much fiber and plants in our diet that it'd be really surprising to me for me to get constipated. Speaking of water, this is a sponsored water bottle, but it's also really, really cute. So I just want to let you guys know about it. This is specifically for pregnancy. It's called the Belly Bottle. It's so cute. So you can see you put stickers on every week to signify how far along in the pregnancy you are. And if you fill this up 3 times, you have the amount of water that you're supposed to drink in a day. So this is really great when we're on the go. And when we're just at home, I like this bad boy because I don't have to fill it up. I just fill it up once in the morning, and then I just feel so amazing drinking water. So fun. So this is really fun. I highly recommend getting a really fun water bottle because it just makes drinking water so much more fun. It makes it really easy to do.
Yep, that's cool. It's been cool to see how much you've enjoyed that. It's a win.
It's a win. This is definitely going to stick with me after pregnancy.
Yep. We are supposed to drink even more water while pregnant.
Yep.
So
my blood volume is currently, in the process of doubling. So my body has to come up with not only is it having the baby and having the amniotic fluid and having all of that, but just the straight up blood in my body is becoming there's so much more. And so got to keep that hydrated.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Stretch marks. A little bit, right? But not like a lot. Talk to me about stretch marks.
Yes, I have gotten stretch marks on my boobs. Only on my boobs. And nobody told me before that they hurt when they come in. They're painful, but...
How bad?
How bad do they hurt?
Yeah.
It's just a little uncomfortable.
Anything you can compare it to?
Similar to like a not too bad, but still painful sunburn.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. And so I got to keep the girls like bandaged up all the time. Like I can't just like, sleep without a bra or something like that. They're very, very sensitive. That's been a common theme throughout the whole pregnancy though. Like I had to stop running. It's basically like as soon as we got pregnant. I was really, really sensitive, and now I got stretch marks on these bad boys.
Cool.
Yep.
Badges of honor.
Yeah, that's right.
But not for anyone else.
Tiger stripes. Yeah, we're the only ones who know. But, I mean, everybody knows, but because we just told them. But
no one else is going to get to see them.
That's right.
Yep.
Well,
I mean,
nursing.
Yeah.
Everybody might see them. We got to get used to that.
I think you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
All right. Fatigue. Second trimester. Get up and goes may be gone. And the growing baby puts more demands on your body. And insomnia may be leaving you pooped during the day. So you might need some extra help.
What do you think? Fatigue and insomnia?
Fatigue, definitely not as much as you were experiencing early on. I think early on there were periods where you become very sleepy out of nowhere. And the same type of fatigue I don't think is true. It's things are getting challenging. So, sometimes it's harder to breathe or go upstairs and stuff like that. And I think that's probably progressively getting a little tougher, even though you're still very active. Insomnia has been an interesting one because you have had a little bit of insomnia. You'll wake up at random times during the night and then just be wide awake, which is not like you. So you're having your own form of insomnia, but fortunately it hasn't been too bad, all things considered.
Yeah, spot on. And I'm usually seriously. I'm usually such a strong sleeper. Like I can sleep anywhere. I can sleep through anything. Things that bug a lot of people for sleep don't bother me. And so it's really only been like, I don't know, a couple nights a week. I'll wake up a few hours too early, which is really unlike me. Or I'll wake up in the middle of the night and, have to read to get myself back to sleep, which is really unlike me. But luckily, it has not been that bad. And so I don't feel unrested most days. Like, I am not tired throughout the day. And I'm so grateful for that because... yeah, I lie down in bed to go to sleep at night, and it takes me like a while to figure out how to breathe lying down again, which is just so wild. Baby's taking up all my lung space.
Wow.
Yep.
Cool. Shall we? Let's see if we can go through these ones just a little bit quicker.
Great.
These are now week 31.
All right.
But I think these are all kind of approximations.
Mm-hmm.
They're not necessarily specific to that week. More frequent urination. Maybe a little bit. I think that's like gradually maybe getting a little bit worse as the belly fills out and you lose bladder space. Is that true?
For me, it feels crazy. It feels like I'm going to pee all the time. Like, I'll go pee and then walk out of the bathroom, and then like 3 minutes later, I'm like, I gotta pee again. And at one point I was like, well, I must have a bladder infection. Like, nobody has to pee. But then you go to the bathroom and I actually have a full bladder to pee out. And so it's just crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah.
But cool. Backaches. Yes, if you haven't been going to the chiropractor. I think the chiropractor's been helping. And you have another massage tonight, which I think also has been helping. But I think you've had it, maybe not as bad as other people will get it, especially because you're getting some relief, but it's not fun.
Yeah. Prenatal chiropractor. I'm specifically going to a chiropractic practice that is about pregnant women and postnatal women and or postpartum women and all of that, and it's spectacular. I can absolutely tell the difference between if I've had an appointment that week or not. I missed a couple weeks and I was like, never doing that again.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for that.
Yeah.
Clumsiness. I don't think you've been I'm going to lump these together. Whoa, I guess I have pregnancy brain, which is the next one. Clumsiness and pregnancy brain. I don't think so. I think we've talked about pregnancy brain a little bit, but like it's not this thing that keeps popping up all the time. You're still very, very sharp. You're a very sharp self. And I haven't seen you be clumsy, really. I mean, maybe you stumble a little bit more or have a little hard time doing things, but it's like pretty hard to move around in a brand new body.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Sleep problems. So I guess this one's a derivation of insomnia, and I think we kind of already talked about that.
Yep.
And then occasional headaches.
I don't feel like enough to talk about. Like, I mentioned it to my midwife and my naturopathic medical doctor, and they both it's in my supplements blog that is live on forgoodnesssakes.com, but they had some supplements to add in, and either my headaches were occasional and gonna go away already, or the supplements really worked, but not noticeably.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Whoop, whoop.
All right, that's symptoms for week 30 and 31.
Amazing. So we're in the midst of painting our house, getting new blinds, getting our nursery set up, getting all the nursery furniture, getting a whole room, like our whole living room area set up. It's a lot. Not only that, but we own and run our own business. That's how we live and make a living. And we just hired some full-time employees. So a full-time employee. He's wonderful. So, all of that being said, our life is very, very full. And we're juggling a lot right now, but I'd love to check in and hear what has been your experience. What are any thoughts that you have kind of heading into fatherhood, and anything showing up for you? Don't feel any pressure. You're allowed to not feel a change until baby comes.
Yeah, I think there's not a huge change yet. I think it's partly because we've been wonderfully busy, and so it's hard to be too focused on it right now, even though maybe that would be better or good. And without directly going through some of the body change and growing a baby in your belly, I think there is more of a disconnect there. And I think that will change pretty suddenly at the birth, and then gradually from there. I still don't have that much of a connection yet. It's wild to think about how in just a short month to 2 months, we're going to have a baby here, and our lives are going to be kind of flipped upside down. And so that's really tough to picture and wrap my mind around, but I'm excited for it and ready. And I mean, I'm not ready, but I'm ready. So I don't know, nothing too interesting to say.
Yeah. Is there anything you're afraid of?
I'm worried about the sleep part. I'm not the good sleeper that you are, but I'd like to be helpful at night, and so I'm not excited about either not being able to help at night or not really being able to sleep.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough. Finding a new routine is going to be crazy, and I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but nothing too scary to me. Maybe just worried that there will be too much going on. It's hard to say no to new business that comes up, and there's a lot of great house projects that we have going on, and I can't imagine how I'm going to be able to do those things and have a newborn, but we're gonna figure out how.
Yeah, we are. I think for me, it's been really interesting trying to conceptualize kind of our new roles in the world and what it means to not just be like a young couple, but to now have a family, and like we will forever have this family. This will, this is the rest of our lives, and it really transforms it. And so that's big, and it's beautiful, and it's exciting. But it's hard to kind of wrap my brain around. So there's a lot to kind of process and work through with that. It's awesome.
Yep.
Well, our birth plan. We told you guys we would tell you about our birth plan this time, and we won't go into too much detail. We'll share a little bit more next time. But to give kind of a high-level overview, we're planning to do a home birth. We will have 2 or 3 licensed professional midwives, and one of which is a naturopathic doctor as well. We plan to do a water birth, but we'll see what happens, what feels right in the moment. And I'm thrilled about the prospect of that. It was a long time coming, and a lot of research, a lot of interviewing practitioners and medical professionals to see who was a good personality fit and who was able to provide the right information, both kind of statistically on their own practice, and also connect with us in a way that was really important.
Yep.
It would be a lot easier to just go through a standard process. To just kind of go, okay, I'm going to go to the hospital and they assign me a doctor and that's what we do. I recognize that, and I just want to tell people who start this process and start looking at doing a home birth or start looking at doing a birth center and they go, this looks really complicated. It should be. That's what it is. You're making a custom process. But this is one of the craziest, coolest things that we'll ever do. And so at first I felt really overwhelmed and was like, what? Is this supposed to be this hard? But after kind of getting through it, it is. You're having to kind of put together a process that really works for you. And there's some really beautiful guidance in that you can find online, and there's some books written about it. I've got the complete home birth guide, which is a really wonderful, wholesome book. There's also the podcast Birthful by Adriana Lozano. She says her name so beautifully, and I know I'm butchering it, but she actually is a doula, and so she interviews a lot of midwives and doulas and mothers and fathers, and she has a really beautiful way of communicating a lot of it. And so if you are looking to create a process for yourself that really fits you, your family, your wants and your needs, there are a lot of resources out there that you can find, and just know that if it seems complicated, that's okay, and you'll figure it out as you go.
Yeah, that's cool. And talk a little bit about what makes it so much more work or research. It's what I picture you'll say to kind of guide you is, a hospital birth, especially if you're planning the hospital birth, you're maybe planning medication or C-section, you can kind of probably just show up and the doctors will guide you through it all, and that's simple, right? And it's safe. Mm-hmm. There are pros and cons to that. And some of the pros to the home birth are great, but they kind of require you to be a lot more educated on it. And that's for your own safety, but also your own peace of mind, right? And that helps you like connect to your body and just set yourself up for a really great experience. But that doesn't just happen overnight. There's a lot to figure out. So do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. I think you covered it really well, that you do a hospital birth, you take the hospital classes, which are really geared toward how to have a birth in a hospital. And there's a set process that they guide you through when you're in labor, and you come and you work with your practitioner. A home birth, you don't have to. There are people who have accidental home births, and there are people who come in with just, a knowledge that they can, and they don't do a lot of research, and it works. But I think for most people, there's a lot of programming that we've gotten from movies and videos, because scary birth is exciting. And we've gotten a lot of messaging from from a lot of sources around birth that we have to kind of reconceptualize, reframe, and put it in a different frame of mind so that we are not coming into birth thinking this is this big, scary, painful thing, but instead seeing it as a really big, transformative, intense, powerful, amazing process that we've never been through before. And
because if you think of it as big and scary, it's probably going to be a tough home birth.
Right.
Probably.
Right. And so I've referenced the Positive Birth Co. And they have a platform group where women all over the world who've taken, or families, couples, families, it's usually written from the woman's perspective, or the birthing person's perspective, but they can share their birth story. And it's really charming to hear people who say, I hate pain. I have no pain tolerance. I was terrified of the pain. And I had a really positive home birth, and it was not this big scary thing. It was really peaceful and beautiful and intense. But as someone who's afraid of the pain, it wasn't terrible. And I think that's really cool because I have a pretty high pain tolerance. I think of myself as someone who, as long as I know pain isn't causing me damage, I can tolerate it. So if I'm, at the dentist, I can say, that hurts. As long as that's okay,
right?
We can continue.
Can you confirm that I should be feeling this pain, that you can explain why I'm feeling this pain, and that this pain will go away?
Right, exactly.
And then if so, you say, cool, I don't like it, but I'm going to get through it and it's going to be fine.
Right. And it's not panic inducing for me. So it is really cool to hear people tell stories of, being afraid and it still being a really, really beautiful process. So there's a lot of work to be done. The other piece is, there have been lots of psychological research studies about how people make choices, and that fewer options can actually make it a lot easier for people to make choices. So you'll see that on some, a lot of restaurant menus that are very, very, very simple. I always assume that it's because they did some research on people really like not having that many choices to make. That is something that makes a home birth more complicated. So if you have a home birth now, instead of going, okay, well, I know my insurance, I know the hospital I'm allowed to go to. If I go to that hospital, I have to go through their program. That means I can only have these doctors. Your choices just become fewer and fewer, which frankly makes it easier. So for making choices. And did you steal her ball?
No, I just moved this so that she wasn't scratching on the loud pillow.
Nice.
Yeah. But now she's scratching on the loud.
If you decide to go with a home birth, so we picked a health sharing program in part because we knew that they were friendly for home births. And for some people, that will just break the bank, right? They could have a hospital birth for $50 out of pocket, or a home birth for $15,000 out of pocket, and it really changes. I
think we just shifted the camera.
Yeah, I know. That'll be that's really a huge financial incentive that people have to figure out what to do with. So, if you decide to go with a home birth now, all of the midwives in your area are an option. And now that's a lot of decision that you have to make. And you have to make it based on having conversations and knowing what information to kind of use to interpret if someone's a good fit for you or not. So there's just a lot more choices that have to be made, and figuring that out can be tough.
Yeah. Are there any resources that you know of online that kind of create the questions you need to ask when interviewing, like outline the questions to ask midwives?
Yes, it's a great question. Most of the home birth, natural birth, positive birth resources that I've found have a segment about that. So the complete child home birth guide is a book. You can find it on Amazon, and they have it. The Ina May's Guide to Natural Childbirth is also a wonderful book, and they have a questionnaire that you should ask professionals. And if you just do a Google search, I'm sure somebody's created that PDF as a standalone, but that's a great question.
Cool.
Yep. Awesome. So some other fun things I wanted to tell you guys about, I think, is just this belly box. This also was a gift sent to us by the belly box team, but it's full of all these. It's a monthly subscription, and it's full of really cute goodies. This is like a height chart for the nursery, and it's really well made. This t-shirt says baby mama on it. It's really soft t-shirt material.
Maternity too.
Maternity, yes. Got stretchy sides for that belly. This cute matching baby onesie. We're gonna look so cute in this.
Maybe there's a dad one.
I know, I was just gonna say, gotta get you a baby daddy one.
Maybe a dog one too.
Oh yeah, that would be cute. A journal, and this has come up in this book that I'm reading right now called Birthing from Within, and it's a book about processing the emotional side of birth and becoming a parent. And they talk about having a journal that you can keep with you all the time for artistic and creative expression. And so this is really cool. Baby, very cute font baby on board sticker that you can't see because it's supposed to go in the window of our car. I'm excited about that. And it has some red raspberry leaf tea, which is not in the box because I'm already drinking it. And this mama and baby nap time, sleeping. I really wish that they made it so dogs could read it.
I heard shmama.
Shmama, because she's going to be the worst culprit for, can you figure this out? Be quiet
She's crazy.
While we're busy. So anyway, fun subscription box. It's all vegan, cruelty free, all the items that are in there. Really sweet company, beautiful products. So just wanted to share that with you guys. And we will update you in a few weeks or the next time that we catch a break and are able to sit down and update you guys on all of this stuff. So in the comments, let us know what else you want to see, what you want to hear about, and we'll keep on bringing you the good, the bad, the gruesome, and all the beautiful stuff in between.
Perfect.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.